Hello, everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be sharing a makeup sponge DIY squishy. So I used like a little heart shaped makeup sponge, probably around about this big, just your normal size one, and I made this little mini burger squishy out of it. You could probably make this out of one. I just made it out of like 2/2 of a makeup sponge instead of doing like one whole one cut in half. I don't know what I'm saying here, but you can make this out of one makeup sponge if you only have one available. I wanted to make a little mini one today because I've actually never made like a mini burger apart from one which I made around about 3, maybe even 4 years ago now, and it turned out really bad. So I thought I wanted to make a little mini one anyway, and I thought if I make it out of a makeup sponge, then that will be kind of more accessible to you guys. So I hope you're staying home, staying safe, staying as healthy as much as possible, and hopefully this will keep you busy if you have a little makeup sponge and some fabric paint in order to recreate this. If you do, then be sure to tag me on Instagram. I am reposting your DIYs on my stories and putting you in a lot of highlights tab so people can find you through those. And yeah, I'm just gonna get straight on into how I made this mini burger, and I will squish it at the end. So as you can see here, these are the 2 makeup sponges that I used, but like I said, you can probably use one because I put 2 on top of each other to make the thickness, but I really only use one part of the makeup sponge, so you could just cut the makeup sponge in half and then put the other one on top of the other one, but I didn't do that. I didn't think about it. I don't know why, I just used 2. So what I did was I cut out a circle shape of both of them and then just glued them together using the Fabri-Tac fabric glue. This is my favorite glue to use on the squishies at the moment. It's something that I discovered last year sometime, and I've been using it ever since. It dries flexible and doesn't leave the hard spot, and it also grips really quickly, so I always recommend this for my DIY squishies now. So when you're cutting out your makeup sponge, it is quite dense and it's quite hard to get it really smooth, but you just want to keep on going, making tiny little snips at a time, smoothing it out as you go along, just making tiny little cuts here, there and everywhere, making sure to make them nice and smooth, like I said, going over and over and over until you're happy with the result. So I made mine into a cylinder to begin with. I then shaped and domed off the top to make it like a burger bun, and then for the bottom bun I just smoothed out the edges. As you can see here, I'm just really small snips all the way around the edges just to smooth them out. I didn't really want to shape them too much, I just wanted them to be rounded like the bottom burger bun is on a burger. So once I had the shape, I then just popped it onto a barbecue skewer, and I actually just mixed up this colour of a puffy paint mixture. This is just different colour puffy paint, a tiny bit of acrylic paint and then some PVA glue mixed all together, and then I just painted that on layer by layer, leaving it to dry in between each one. With the help of the skewer, obviously I was then able to paint the whole thing at once, leave it to dry in between, then carry on painting, etc. So I did 3 coats of that beige colour in total. I did use a fan to help me dry it out. And once all 3 layers were dry, I then just moved on to decorating. So I removed the skewer and I still had a little hole, so I used this brown tulip slick paint to cover that up, as well as, you know, go all the way around to make the burger kind of layer pattern, I don't know what you want to call it. I then painted on some details just using other puffy paints from the brand Tulip. The brand Tulip is the one I predominantly use, but sometimes I use the brand Scribbles as well because it's a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I just painted on the cheese just straight out of the little tub with that. I also used a dotting tool and some green puffy paint mixture and painted on some lettuce, and then I used a little bit of red as well just to put little lines all the way around, just to kind of pretend they was little tomatoes. Once those were then dry, I was able to paint the top, so I just painted on some little sesame seeds to begin with, just using the dotting tool by doing a dot and then dragging it slightly so it had a little point, just like sesame seed shapes are. And then once that was dry, I painted on a little kawaii face. So obviously I love to use kawaii faces on absolutely everything, so I was going to put one on this burger too. I just used the tulip slick paint in the colour black, and I used a barbecue skewer. Is actually the one that I stuck in the burger squishy to keep it upright, and I just used that to paint on the face. So I did the eyes and then the open mouth in between, and then once that had dried, I then went back in and did the extra layer, which included the highlight on the eyes and then blush either side of the eyes and then the inside of the mouth. Once that was dry, my little burger squishy was then complete. So now the face and all of the details have fully dried. This is what a little 360 of it looks like. This little indentation there is where the like skewer came out where I had it on that, so it looks a little bit dented, but it's not bad. This is what it looks like. We've got the cheese on there. I tried to put 4 pieces so it looked like kind of a square of cheese. It's not adding up perfectly, but you know, we've got like the lettuce, the burger, the tomatoes and the cheese, and then on the top I painted on the little seeds, as well as obviously a cute face, because I like to put cute faces on everything. Obviously this is absolutely tiny. Can you even tell how small that is? Like, look, it's literally the size of like, I don't know, a pound coin or something. Oh, but squishiness wise, it's nice and slow. That's because of all those layers of puffy paint that we put on there. You can squish it all the ways that you want to. It will go back. In fact, here's a little offcut of the kind of makeup sponge. There's like no slowness to that at all, but because of all the layers of the puffy paint, this happens. And it's brilliant. This is why I love to make little mini ones out of not memory foam, makeup sponges, because to be honest, they're cheap. I have a whole load of them, and you don't need to waste your money on memory foam if you're going to be using loads of layers of puffy paint anyway. I think this could easily be made into a little charm. Stick a little eye pin in there, and that will work out perfectly. Kind of like one of those smushy, mushy besties. Are they called smushy mushy besties? Something like that. The little mini ones. But yeah, this is how the little guy has turned out. Really, really happy with it. Like I said, if you do recreate it, be sure to tag me on Instagram. I'll leave my kind of handle and stuff down in the description so you can click through. Give me a little tag. I will repost you. Just get your account out there a little bit. And yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!